Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to ChannelBK. My name is Brian, and surprise, surprise, I decided last minute to do another list. This one, it's celebrating, but it's not in a good way. We're celebrating the worst or the lesser movies that were offered this year with the top 5 worst movies of 2019. Here's the thing. I really did debate doing this list for a while. Because here's the thing, I think they are fun to do, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, art is art, opinions are opinions, whatever. And it's all about not being negative. And weirdly enough, I'm still going to make this video as nice as I can. Because honestly, other than what you're going to see tomorrow with the top 20 movies, this year kind of disappointed me a bit. And a lot of it had to do with movies. Like, I don't go to the movies just to see the bad movies. That's the other thing. That's a major thing, like when most people do their list and it's like, it's the obvious movies that are terrible. No, that's not my list because I don't go to see those movies. Like, there's a reason. But this list was actually very easy to put together. And once again, when you listen to the list, I don't want you to sit and go, oh my God, listen, it's my list. I know you guys are going to have your opinions. I want to talk about them. I am going to explain, obviously, why these movies aren't that good either. So for honorable mentions, yes, we have some shocking ones in here. We have Astra, we have Dark Phoenix, and we have Pet Sematary. Those aren't in any particular order, by the way. It's just they're in there. Number 5, let's get into the list. In Fabric, this is an A24 movie that I went to go see. It was an early screening at a local theater in Detroit. It was Indie Movie Day, so honestly, it was cool to celebrate it. Here's the thing. The reason why I didn't like this movie is because of the aesthetic. When I started to learn that the film is about this killer dress and sort of, yes, I know you're already like, what? If you haven't heard of this movie? And I get when it got to the point where it was explaining that and it was sort of that whole thing and the vibe of the store that she buys it from. I was like, okay, I get it. It's not like this film is clearly not trying to be over the top. It's not bad in that way. I actually was kind of okay with it. However, it just felt like it didn't have anywhere to go. There were so many moments where it just, there was definitely funny parts and stuff, and I thought the idea was interesting. They just, I don't know. In my opinion, there was nothing done with it, and by the time the movie was over, it's funny how I was so shocked because of everyone saying how great it was. And yes, when I first started getting weird, I'm like, okay, makes sense. A24 putting out a movie like this. However, it did not culminate into anything by the end of it. So, had a lot of potential though, sadly. Number 4 is Hellboy. I know I just said I don't go to the movies to see bad movies, but here's the thing. I'm a Hellboy fan. I was interested in just seeing their take on it. Here's the thing. The first action scene when he's fighting the big guys, not when he's in Mexico. That scene was kind of cool. Ian McShane was fucking awesome. But really, other than the fact, literally the highlight of this movie is that Rosalia had a song in it early on. But other than that, I wasn't a fan of Dave Harbour. Honestly, as Hellboy, it just made me depressed watching this whole movie, thinking that we could have a Hellboy 3. But, Universal's giving money to make cats. And Hellboy. Unfortunately, that movie's not on here because I will never see that movie. But it's sad. And I thought it was cool that they went with more different versions of the comics and his look and all that. I definitely think they did different things cool, but it was it just felt too jokey for me, and it just felt very meh. It just didn't hit, and it was very slow and very boring at a lot of parts. But yeah, very upsetting. Number 3, The Dead Don't Die. God, I was so excited from the trailers. The new Jim Jarmusch movie with Adam Driver, Bill Murray, a bunch of other freaking people. I was so excited for this movie because the trailers made it seem so funny. And here's the thing. There's a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of cool ideas. There's a lot of parts that, like, roll, like, especially in the first half. There's, like, a couple funny lines and great dialogue. But this movie was so hitting you over the head with its themes. There's parts in the movie that are like, okay, fuck, like, I guess we'll do this. Like, there's this whole part with Tilda Swinton near the end that's like, okay. This movie had a lot of potential. And again, I was hoping that it wasn't as bad as, like, the critics were making it seem, because it was kind of like 50 somewhere percent. But yeah, this movie was like, oh, I cannot believe what I watched when I saw this movie. I was so like, okay. Number 2 is The Lion King. I was hoping this was going to be the good live-action Disney movie. Dumbo, I thought, had cool ideas. It was fine. Aladdin was okay. This, however, when the animals started talking, it was downhill. I thought the fact that they put, like, all this money and effort into the cast and for the look of it, and they couldn't even add animations to the face, and they make it look so realistic. I'm like, it just did not do anything. Chiwetel was easily one of the best parts of the movie as Scar. Like, I think Scar was really one of the only times where I connected to the movie a little bit. I mean, Timon and Pumbaa were hilarious and stuff, but Scar was really one of the times. Beyonce was another good moment where, like, those were the few times that I actually kind of, like, okay, like, I'm getting something. And I was disappointed that Jon Favreau did this, because I really liked The Jungle Book. And, God, this movie was bad. Like, it was so disappointing to have all this behind it, and it ended up being this. Oh, my gosh. Like, it felt just so, like, oh, it just, so many opportunities. But number 1, which is a movie a lot of people think is one of their best movies of the year, and it's going to be fun to see people hate on me for this, but here's the thing. I have a lot of reasons. The Souvenir. This one, again, another A24 movie, another Tilda Swinton movie. This movie had a lot of buzz. It won a lot of stuff at Sundance. I was looking forward to it. I was interested, because here's the thing. With A24, even if I go into their movie, because they're my favorite production company, they're my favorite distributor, because I think they put out really interesting, weird stuff. And A24 was in a weird spot this year with me, with some of the stuff they put out. Like, I was very, like, on the fence with a lot of their stuff, which was really weird. But this movie, again, if you like the movie, I'm not here trying to make fun of you. I'm just telling you all why I think it was terrible. I have watched movies that are super slow, that I love. I've watched movies that a lot of things don't happen, that I love. This movie felt dry the whole entire time. I was bored for the entire movie. There was so much that happens that felt like it was unnecessary. I did not care about any of the characters, because none of them felt like they had any, like, redeemable, like, it just felt very, again, dry. Richard Ayoade shows up for, like, a quick scene, which kind of lifted the movie a little bit, because I was like, oh, okay. There's a fun little scene when they're in bed together joking around that actually added a little bit to. I'm like, okay, that's a scene. Like, it just was not, like, and I feel, and yes, I do feel bad, because Joanna Hogg, who this, directed it, it's based kind of on her life, on an experience she had, because it's not, like, there's a lot that I could tell that she's going for. This idea of her being with this guy who was very tragic, and, there was lots of scenes in there where he does this crazy stuff, and you're supposed to be like, holy shit, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get what the idea of the movie is. It just didn't do anything. Like, it just was bad. It was very bad. And I have been joking about it all year, because I was so, like, everyone was talking up about it. But then there's people that really loved it, that saw how everyone hated it, and they're like, well, I'm going to love it, and they did. So here's the thing. If you like this movie, hey, good on you. You do you. I'm not going to judge you, because you do you, and it's not, like, the biggest deal to me. I'm just saying this was a movie that I was like, oh, let's see how it is. And the fact that it's going to have a sequel is one of the funniest and shocking things. But hey, people seem to like it. I just didn't, and it is the least favorite and worst movie I've seen this year, with so much potential. And it basically just turned into like almost 2 hours of just dryness for me with nothing to pull away from it, barely. So yeah, at the end of the sad list, those are my worst movies of the year. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave them in the comments below. Check out the other list from this year. Top 20 movies of 2019 will be tomorrow. And here's the thing. Once again, at the end of the day, if you like any of these movies, don't be hateful. Because yes, I am being diplomatic and being nice about why I don't like them. But here, movies are movies. We go to the movies because we like art. And we like to be moved, entertained. This is my list. If you disagree, just tell me why. And tell me if you have movies that you don't like. Because again, these are just the movies that didn't do it for me. Because again, I came into this year hoping that a lot of movies were really, really good. And I was more disappointed. And especially with these movies. So with that, thank you for tuning into ChannelBK. And thank you so much for watching as I switched it around again. Peace out, guys.